You've signed a player since we last spoke. Danny Lloyd's come in. I know he's had a bad injury, but what will he bring your side, and how quickly do you think can he bring it?
Yeah, Danny's obviously had a decent career. He's come through the non-league levels. He's worked his way up. He's played at some good clubs. Unfortunately, when he's at Gillingham last season, March time, he's suffered a bad injury. And he's worked extremely hard. He's a player that I've seen over the years. Obviously, Liverpool lad, playing in the non-league, playing a File, my former club before I went there. He's a player that I've always thought, he's done well. And, he's injured, or he's been injured. He's worked extremely hard to come back. Spoke to a lot of people who've, been doing sessions with him, know him as a character. And we invited him in training, so we had a few days training with us, more so we could have a look over him and see where he's at, and gather our information, physio-wise, S&C-wise. So it was important that we looked over him to see what he was about, and he was flat out in training. He trained really well. He was at the top end of the running. He's bubbly. He's a good character. He's obviously got good ability. So yeah, he's not going to be flat out as yet, but that coincides with giving him the month contract to go and prove himself, which will learn him hopefully a longer deal. You do run that risk that if he bursts on the scene and does extremely well, he doesn't need any warming up to get back to where he wants to be, then there might be other teams who might want to take him. So it's a risk in some regards. It's on the other hand, it's a win-win, because you get to look at him first, and he has been out of the game 9 months, something like that. So we'll just see how it goes now. Unfortunately, the game was called off Saturday. He was going to be involved in that, against Stockport, so his former club, but he'll certainly be involved this week, and hopefully he can affect the game, in the right way, and he goes from strength to strength, and then we can weigh it all back up again.
I know he's an attacking midfielder. Could he change the way you play potentially? I know, for example, last game you had Henderson and Quigley up front. Does he give you a different option in how you play going forward?
He's got the ability to play anywhere across the top line. I wouldn't say he's an out-and-out centre forward. I think he can play with one. He can certainly play off the lines, and with myself and Chaddy, we've played a lot of 4-2-3-1. So he can play any of those positions in the wide, in the number 10. But he's a gifted footballer. He's knowledgeable. He's experienced. He's looked good in training. We just want him to affect the top end of the pitch and bring something else to the group as well. So he's got a bit of character. He trains well. He's vocal. He's a bubbly character. So all them things have got to fit. When you get players into the club, not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. But he ticks a lot of boxes for us.
And we're not spoken to you since the defeat to Harrogate. Where are you at in terms of playing wise, training wise since then? Because it was a really disappointing afternoon for you, wasn't it? And I guess, I don't know whether the 2 weeks and the game being off last week's helped or not, but where is your sort of mentality and mood at with where the team's at the moment? Well,
it was mad because we had a 2 week break leading up, so we come off the back of a bad result at Sutton. I thought we were the better side second half, could have got something from the game. We lost the game against Harrogate, which was a poor show, and we weren't good enough. We had them in, there was no days off, so we were in flat out for 6 days leading up to the Stockport game, which unfortunately got postponed. To a few home truths, go through certain things visually on the training pitch, hoping to make us better. The game got called off, and now we've come into this cold spell. So at the moment we've been on the AstroTurf over at Hyde United. We're a little bit, some days we'll train in the afternoon. We've got to coincide with what they do here with the development squad, etc. So we've been flat out on the Astro, preparing now for the next game, which is Bradford at the weekend. So we've still got to feel. For me, last time out, it wasn't good enough. We need a response. To be fair to the lads, they've trained quite well. Different environment, different pitch, very, very cold. But yeah, we've been flat out, and as I say, we're looking forward to the game on Saturday. Big club to go to, good team. No better place to hopefully bounce back. If we can do that, it'd be fantastic. So, as always, under no illusions, it's a tough place to go. You know, tough team to play against at the level. But we embrace every game exactly the same, that we can win it. So Saturday's no different.
In terms of the team, have you got belief in the players that you've got at the moment that they've got what it takes to stay up, or did that result kind of hit to you, well, I need January as soon as I can, and the likes of people like Lloyd coming in?
Yeah, well, again, you're always trying to improve, whether you can do that on the training field, whether you do that individually with regards to, psychological, 1v1 meetings and trying to get the best out of people, whether we can, everyone, we speak about getting to January. We're not the type of club that can just open the checkbook, go out, and do what we want to do. There's players I've identified that I'd like to bring in, but, like us, we won't be able to afford them, or whatever they may be, we might not be able to do that. So I appreciate where the club's at. I appreciate that, it has had off-field issues, and now it's a really tightly run ship, and the way I believe should be. There's no way, doing things that you shouldn't do. Everyone's got to cut the cloth accordingly and live within the rules. So we'll do what we can in January to try and make us, better and get us away from where we want to be. I have belief in the players in certain respects that we've seen at times that they can produce. I think it'd be right of me to say that we've been inconsistent. I think we've seen some really good, strong performances at times, and you think, yeah, great, we've cracked it. We just kick on now and start building more momentum and getting more results. But the flip side of that, I've seen signs of concern. So again, as I say, whether it be individually, whether it be in units, whether it be visually on the the computers or the TV, whether it be on a training ground, whether it be bringing anyone in from the outside the club in, we've got to find ways to improve and win more games of football. We're in a better position than we were before to come in. We were rooted to the bottom. I think there was one spell where we were 4 points away from getting out the bottom two. We're now 4 from bottom. Whether that's down to us doing a bit of good work or the other teams below us not being particularly good, it doesn't really matter. We've just got to find a way of getting ourselves away from that bottom two in an ideal world sooner rather than later. But there's a lot of things going on in my head with regards to how we can get better. And yeah, you get frustrated at times, but that's life, that's football. We've just got to keep working hard and make sure that come every match day we have that belief and that work ethic. That has got us some good results so far, and we want to put more on the board, and as I say, move away from that dreaded bottom two.
And I think the fact that you named the unchanged team for that last game kind of showed some of the injury problems and perhaps the lack of options you've had on occasions. How are you looking now on that front? Have you been able to welcome any players back? Are there any players going to be missing this weekend? Yeah,
we've got a few. Obviously, Liam Kelly's back running now, which is pleasing. There's no real long-term ones. Tavon Campbell's been injured for the majority of the time I've been at the club. He's back running again. He's stepping up. Yeah, we've had a couple of other little minor bits and pieces here. Whether this game comes too quickly, one player who's not trained for 10 days, he's touch and go. So again, we're assessing it all. We've gone through stuff today. We'll give probably one player right up till kick-off to see whether he's going to be right to play. But we've got a couple of injuries in the camp that will certainly dictate certain parts of the pitch. And I think after the run that we've been on, I think there's players who've built a little bit of credit. There might be players that need to come out because the performance levels have dropped. As I say, it goes back to that one of finding a way of getting a result in your next game. So there'll probably be a couple of changes come Saturday. Some be enforced through injury, and some will be, through probably a little bit of dip in form.
And just finally, Bradford's, a team who have had a good run and going for promotion to Mark Hughes, but have also stuck at home in some of the performances. Does that give you a bit of confidence?
100%. Yeah, as I say, it'd be pointless doing all our preparation and stepping on that coach to go up there on Saturday if you didn't believe that you can win the game. That's the mentality that we've got to have at every game we go into. Yeah, we're playing a big club at the level. We're playing against a star and a manager, an experienced manager. be a big crowd on a team that are expected to do well at the level they always are. You know, I've been around League 2 long enough to know that Bradford are a very well-backed football club, been at the highest level. You know, the fans are fantastic, they get right behind the team, they travel well in numbers, they're good at home. So, you know, that ticks a lot of boxes for them, but as you said, they've had a few stutters, they've been a little bit inconsistent at times. Like we do every week, we look over them and we see where they're likely to hurt us. The likes of Andy Cook, who's the top scorer, you know, the main man at the top end of the pitch. He's one player that we're going to have to you know, try and look after, and certain ways that they play. But there's other areas that they've you know, they've been quite weak in. So we've got to stamp our authority on the game in that regard and try and exploit some of them weaknesses, and just be conscious of what they've got in their locker to hurt us. So, as I say, we're always looking forward to get the next game. That's what we're in the game to do. That's what we train all week to do. It's Bradford next. No better place at the level to go and play. So we want to go and enjoy it. We want to go and work hard, and if we can get something, that'll be fantastic. But we know it'll be a big game and a tough game for us.